Praise God. I want to give a testimony of some of the works of the Lord that God has done as we've been coming to Canada each year. You know, how God moves just like this brother was saying. You know, we were up in Hastings, I believe, at the First Nations. And, you know, I had been fasting and seeking the Lord. Now, I want y'all to listen, if you can kind of just listen, because God gave a miracle to a young man. He was just walking down the street, and I had been reaching out and fasting in prayer for, I don't remember how many days, but I think I was still fasting at that time. And it was snowing it was a lot of snow there. And he was coming down the highway, and he had bags in his hand and was headed to the liquor store. And as he was coming, the Lord spoke to my heart, and he said, witness to this young man. And it was just like the Lord picked me up off the ground and just lifted me up. And I got up and I began to witness Jesus to this young man. And I began to tell him that someone had been praying for him, and the Lord had come to give him deliverance, and that God wanted to save him. And as I began to witness to this young man, I asked him, I said, can I lay my hands on you and can I pray for you? And about that time, the young man had a hat on, and he just took his cap. And he took his cap off. And the Lord showed me right then that the young man surrendered his heart. And when that young man surrendered his heart, and I laid my hands on him and I began to pray for him, this young man began to weep, and he began to cry. And he wept and he cried till his nose was just as snotty and everything. But I knew God was breaking the chains, and he was destroying the yokes off this young man. And then the Lord told me, he said, grab him and hug him. And I grabbed the young man and I hugged the young man, and I said, do you have a Bible? He said, no. I said, would you like a Bible? He said, yes. I said, well, my husband's at the hotel. I said, come up here with me. And I said, we'll give you a Bible. When we brought him to the hotel, this young man comes in. My husband witnessed to him. This young man cries and weeps all over. God is breaking yokes. God is destroying yokes off of this young man. You see, sometimes you just got to pay attention. You got to open up your heart, and you got to pay attention, because he was like the woman with the issue of blood. He was looking. He was just walking. He was in a place, and he was looking for deliverance in his heart. And the Lord delivered that young man that day. He totally was delivered. He started going to church. And he stayed in church until he passed away to be with the Lord. The chains of darkness was broke off of his life, and he was set free, totally free. Thank the Lord. Amen.
Amen.